now getting started, but we was having some tech issues, right? You know how it is. Sometimes tech doesn't work, and sometimes you forget your login passwords. So we just had a couple issues here, but what we really want to start. So Chauncey, Pham, and I are here, and we want to talk about this Nar Settlement. It is the hottest thing out there in real estate right now. Everybody's talking about it, and
Yeah.
everybody's nervous about it. And there's a lot of misinformation about what's really going on in the industry, what this means for buyers, what it means for sellers, and then more importantly, my real estate agents out there, what you gonna do? What are you
Right.
gonna do about your business? How are you gonna continue to help people buy and sell homes? And this is a pretty impactful change. When you say CP?
I definitely think it's impactful, but I don't think that it's anything scary. I don't. I think that everyone from the consumer end to the real estate professionals end, everybody's freaking out prematurely.
Yes.
It's so much misinformation out there. They're, reading into this the wrong way. And I look at all change as opportunity, and this is just another opportunity to do better and do things differently.
100%. So here's the thing. Before we jump into what actually happened, let's just go over what we're seeing out there. I'm gonna share my screen here real quick. All right, just check out the headlines. Okay, right here they talk about the settlement, $418 million settlement, overhaul of commissions. Okay, realtor settlement brings confusion. That part I agree with. The
Same.
6% commission on buyer and selling a home is gone. But people don't know the average commission in the United States has been around 5% for the past 5 years anyway. Now, your market may be different than ours, okay? So every market is a little bit different, but there's just so much a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion about what this really means, and people are taking this and running with it. I think the worst headline I saw out there, CP, was I saw a headline in which people said that this was going to drop home buying costs for
Oh
buyers.
yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
I've seen that one. Yeah,
like, what?
yeah, realtor commission going away, and now the cost to buy a home is going to be lowered. Like no, it's not. Like none of this has anything to do with each other. And I feel like all of this is
Mhm,
a
mhm.
larger reflection of how poorly real estate professionals have explained what we do and what the process is. I think that all of this and the public perception of realtors, the public perception of how much we're compensated, I think all of this is really kind of a slap in the face to the real estate professionals to tell them to wake up because we haven't been doing what we really need to do. Otherwise, the public wouldn't be having the reaction that they're having right now. And a lot of real estate agents that also don't understand what the ramifications of this are, like they don't even know what
Mhm.
the hell's going on in our own industry. And so honestly, I like this as a wake up call to everyone.
Man, preach on it. We've been talking about this for years. If you are not showing your value to your clients, that is a problem. And I
Well,
think that we definitely have a perception issue inside of real estate that all we do is take nice pictures on Facebook and on Instagram. We go to closings and we do open house. We only do open house, open doors. And there's
mhm.
so much more that we do, but we don't tell the story enough.
No one
Simply
tells
put.
the story of that, and no one tells the story of the bad things that happen, which is why with my brand, I've always focused so much, Sasha, on sharing the good and the bad sides of real estate because I think it's important to paint an honest picture of what it looks like. I mean, you can work with clients for 6, 9 months and never get paid. You can, have clients that pass away that you had good relationships with. You can help people go from, just having bad credit to getting into that first home to then helping them sell that first home and actualizing $100,000 in equity that changes the trajectory of their life. It's so much that we do, but
Yes.
nobody ever talks about it because I think something that you said is really important. People aren't sharing the value. I don't think people know what that means.
No, no, real estate agents absolutely don't know what that means. And it comes down to us sharing the easy wins way too much.
Yeah.
Okay?
No,
Like, "Hey, I just sold a house in 3 days."
yeah.
Okay, child, please, sometimes the market sold their house in 3 days. Let's be honest about it, okay?
Right.
When it was what, 2021
21,
during COVID,
22.
I
Yeah.
mean, houses were selling like hotcakes,
Yeah.
right? Put in the
100%.
MLS, that joker was gone,
Yeah.
and that was true. Now on the flip side, you still had houses that were messed up that you had to work really hard to do, but not every last real estate transaction, I'll be the first one to admit, not every last real estate transaction is difficult, and not every last one are easy either. But we don't like to tell that story enough. What do you do behind the scenes? I can say for a fact, I have probably helped send so many families' kids to college by helping them offload a property that was in bad condition, and they use that to send their baby on to college when they didn't have a college fund, right?
Right.
There's stories like that that even I personally haven't told. So we're curious, guys. What is your thoughts about this as we kind of cover? So please leave your comments down below. If you got questions, we'll bring those questions up and we'll answer those as well. But before we get started, let's just kind of recap what actually happened,
Yeah.
okay, and what the lawsuit means. Number one, let's talk about the money. There is a 14 and 8 $418 million fine that will be paid back over the next 4 years. Okay, so that's number one. That's the money. Two, let's talk about the big practice changes. Sellers are not required to pay a buyer's agent commission. Let's talk about it. It don't mean they're not going to pay a commission.
Yeah.
They can choose not to pay the buyer's agent commission. It's up to them to do so or not. And there's still a reason why you probably want to do that, Mr. Seller, if you're watching this particular video, because you want your house to sell. You don't want it to be listed. Okay. Uh, Next one, number three here. The buyer, we won't, well, I ain't gonna say we. The government wants the buyers to negotiate their commission that they're going to pay their real estate agent direct with the buyer's agent. They no longer want the listing agent and the seller to negotiate, say, we're going to pay the buyer's agent X.
Right.
So they're leaving that between the buyer and their agent, which comes back to what's your value? What am I paying you for, buddy?
Right.
Right? And then the last big thing is this is a big one. And this one kind of it worries me. You and I had this conversation. The buyer's agent commission will no longer be listed inside the MLS.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's wild. That I almost feel like that's a step backwards
It absolutely
in a
is a
lot of
step back.
ways.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
is this taking us back to the wild wild west? That's the question.
It
Let's play a scenario.
Yeah.
Chauncey's listing the house, and I'm working with a buyer. Hey, CP, my buyer is super interested in this property. We want to go ahead and get a showing. Can you just let me know, Chauncey, how much you guys gonna pay on the buyer's agent commission?
I mean, I can say whatever I want to say. At this point now, I'm able to say whatever I want to say because that's what kind of has protected us historically
Yeah.
is on our listing agreement. We say how that percentage is going to be distributed to the listing agent and to the buyer's agent. And then on the MLS, it says exactly what that number is. And now, these are conversations that can be had that, we're giving a lot of control to the listing agent on that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of wild to me.
Yeah, we got a comment here. Someone saying that is scary stuff. Roberto, I agree with you. I agree with you. The last thing that I want to see is two agents in a back room discussing what the commission should be based off what their actions are. I don't like that
I
idea
don't
for
like that.
anybody. I
No,
don't like it.
it's
Now,
wild.
I'm not saying we have a bunch of unethical people,
Right.
but you take that, don't even give it an option.
Yeah, you're giving people a lot of unnecessary power with that. And what's so wild to me is I think because of the sensationalized headlines, the consumer
Yes.
is under the impression that the commissions are just gone. I've seen so much on my social media and under comments of videos that they're just like, that's it. You realtors can pack it up, go get you a job, go work at Walmart. Like everybody's gonna FISBO. Everybody's just not using a listing agent. Or using a buyer's agent. We're going straight to the listing agent, and it is just wild to me.
Yes, it is.
And I have huge concerns for VA buyers that can't contribute to their agent's commission. I have huge concerns for first-time home buyers that are already struggling to come up with their down payment and their closing costs. If they end up really loving a home that, there is no buyer agent commission on that, is that going to then open up things for institutional buyers to be able to swoop in and buy more homes, even more homes than they already are, which is sitting at,
And
around
we know
30.
they're on the rise. We know they've been on the rise these past couple of years.
And I just really feel like a bigger conversation needs to be had. But again, this all goes back to the fact that I think realtors have done a really, really shitty job at explaining what we do and helping the consumer understand our importance. And it's nobody's fault but ours.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this lawsuit has been in place. This has been an ongoing fight between the Department of Justice and National Association of Realtors for years.
Yeah.
And we knew this was going to come. You know,
Yeah.
we knew this was coming sooner or later. If you're a real estate agent, you've been in the game, and you're gonna say, "I'm surprised." Child, please, where you been?
Where have you been?
Where have you been? You shouldn't be surprised by this. We knew this was coming. If you're a brand new agent, maybe you're surprised because you thought it was sunshine and puppy dogs out here. You know that it's not, but we knew it was coming. Um, the biggest thing that I would say a takeaway for you guys to take away from this is this: they have the framework of what they want, but they don't have the details just yet. There's a lot of
Right.
things being hammered out in terms of the process, going back and forth between lawyers about what's going to happen. These new changes go in effect July 1st. So let's just put that out there. It's not right now. However, it's March. Some
Yeah.
listings are taking longer to sell than just 2 or 3 months. So what happens with those listings that could go into July? Then what happens? So it is going to require us to start having these conversations right now. So every agent out there, if you can hear this, get educated on
Yeah.
what is actually happening. Talk to your broker's probably already having
Yeah.
different calls. We've had a couple on EXP
We've had a
already.
couple. Yeah, there was one
Yeah,
yesterday that was a really good long call
it
that,
was really good.
Q&A, yeah, it explained everything. Yeah, I would definitely say keep your ear, and keep in touch with your broker, and make sure that you're, keeping in touch with what's happening with this, because it's going to be really, really important over the next couple of months. But,
Yep.
I also, man, I just, there's a part of me that I feel like there's some huge opportunity here that I guess maybe I'm one of those glass half full, not glass half empty type gals. So when stuff like
There's a
this
lot of
happens,
opportunity here.
it is. And when stuff like this happens, like, it doesn't freak me out. Like, I run into the fire instead of out. Like, when everybody else is like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm like, y'all, look, your whole job as a realtor is to solve problems. And if you understood that, then you would probably be better at it. And being that your job is to solve problems, like, now there's a plethora of new problems that are going to be out there, and you need to be sitting down right now and spitballing on ways that you can solve them. There are new business opportunities out there.
So
There are
many.
new partnership opportunities available out there. But you are just still just thinking so small about your commission, and that's all you've been focused on, which is why, there's a group of us that are scared, and there's a group of us that are ready. Like, we're ready to go, and I'm definitely ready to see what this does.
That was funny because the first thing you and I had around this, we talked about the issues, then we said opportunities immediately.
Yeah.
Guys, if there's issues need solutions. Solutions
Yep.
mean new business models. New business models means new ways of making money and profitability. And if you
Yep.
don't see that in this situation, you're being so short-sighted. When was the last time that our industry went through a major change like this? What, 2008? Maybe?
Yeah.
We
2008,
don't go
2009.
through we don't go through industry-wide changes often, and this
Yeah.
is a big one, and there's so many opportunities gonna come from that right now.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Here's one of my clients, Michelle, saying, "I ran into the fire as well. Let's go. Let's do this shit right now.
Yeah.
Shift. Let's do this shift," is what he's
Let's
saying.
do it. Let's
Same
do it.
thing. Because I will tell you guys right now, there's gonna be a contingent of buyers who need our help. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the buyers who need down payment assistance. Okay, who need the ability to have a hard time coming with their down payment and their closing costs. Now they have to pay you. The concern is those individuals won't be able to buy a home, right? That's the
Right.
issue. You guys tell me, what is the solution? What is the solution from that perspective? Because that's still a market out there where folks need to be able to buy a home. This requires us. I'm gonna challenge every agent out to listen to this. It requires you and me and everyone that's out there to be better. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
got to educate the buyers. In fact, we used to joke quietly as agents. I don't remember the last time I did my buyer's presentation, right? And
Yeah.
that's true. You just say, "Hey, what you want? What you got? I got you." Now you got to go win that buyer over. You got to bring them to show this is why you want to work with me. This is why I'm one of the best agents out there, and this is why you want to commit to paying me.
Yeah.
Right? If they think all you do is open doors, they're not going to pay you. They're not. They're
And
not going to see the value in you.
that's what I would say, out of all of this, out of all of the, like, content that I'm seeing, realtors freaking out, all of the trash talking that I'm seeing, out there, I would say the biggest thing is the public perception of realtors
Hmm.
has never been more apparent than it is now. And they literally hate us. Like, they do not respect the real estate industry. They don't respect realtors. And I don't know if that comes from a culmination of television and what television depicts our jobs as, with you're
Oh gosh,
selling
yes.
assets, and like it's not really real at all. And then the fact that what they then see in real life from realtors is just the sold signs, and I've got a
Right.
million closings. And so I really hope that this helps shift branding for realtors. I think realtors have done a really, really bad job at making the goal of home ownership and selling houses and things like that accessible. We've turned it
Mhm.
into almost this like luxurious, we're posing in front of, and not we, because I don't do that shit. But you got realtors posing in front of G Wagons and they ain't had a closing in the last 6 months. You got realtors, rolling around with the nice bags and all of that. Guys, your job is to make people actualize and realize the fact that they can utilize real estate to help themselves build wealth and build stability for their families. And when you put out content and your branding is the way that
Yes.
it is, which I perceive a lot of this branding is irresponsible, it's very tone deaf. It makes the average consumer very resentful, very envious, and then couple that on top of the fact they're watching Selling Sunset, where girls just got on high heels and short little skirts. Like, it's just we are just not respected because we haven't put out real. And so I really hope that if nothing
Mhm,
else,
mhm.
then it propels branding to be more honest.
Yep. Leon is saying that fake it until you make it. That is definitely not the way of doing it. And we see this all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. And when we talk to real estate agents about what is your brand, what is your message you're putting out there, and what are you doing? And I'll tell you, CP and I talk about me all the time. When I get super busy, I disappear off of social media. You won't see me
Yeah.
post at all because I'm in the mix of working, just working, working, working. And I'm wrong in that because I'm not telling the story of who I'm helping. We have got to tell these stories more. In fact, we should put a camera in front and let the buyers themselves tell the story, what you've been able to do for them.
Yeah.
I have a slew of buyers right now in my database I have been working with for years, helping them get through foreclosures, fixing their credit, okay? Helping them rebuild their entire financial profile in terms of where they can stay and and get them to the ability to buy a home, putting them on an actual budget plan and working and working and working, all in hopes that they're going to buy a house one day and they'll get into a home and then I'll get paid. There's a lot of work that we do behind the scene, guys, that we just don't tell, right? And when I look at the value based way you work with a buyer and you truly take them and walk them through the process. I mean, it feels very good when they buy that house. You feel
Yeah.
really proud of them from that perspective. But if you're not telling their story, nobody knows it.
Yeah.
Nobody
No,
knows it. So we
absolutely.
as agents, guys, yes, the government wants this to happen, but we need to show our value,
Yeah.
right? And then for all the folks out there say, "Oh, I'm just not gonna work with buyers anymore." Okay, child, please go ahead. That's more for those who will,
Right.
right?
No,
More for those
100%.
who will.
But I definitely see a lot of different business opportunities and partnerships popping up. I see realtors, buyers agents, the good ones, really working in a different capacity. I see people that are creative having a huge opportunity with, home buyer workshops and classes and things
Mhm,
like that.
mhm.
Because oftentimes what happens is people think they can do things on their own until they actually see what it takes to do it. Like, I'm one of those people that will be on social media and I'll see all of these DIY projects and I'm like, oh, I can make my own day bed. Let me just print out these plans and I can do this. And then I start doing it and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm about to hire a carpenter to do this. And I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. But it's going to be our job and it's our fiduciary responsibility to kind of be there to catch these folks once they attempt to do some of these things on their own that they think they're going to have to do, which they actually don't have to. And then, it will be up to us to kind of save it, on the back
Yep.
end, because it's going to be very important.
Hey, let's kind of go back to this comment real quick here. Someone on Facebook said, I also heard once you set the commission with the buyer, if the seller's paying more, you can't get it. Okay, so let me put the lead on the screen. Let me kind of address that one. This one is not completely 100% set in stone just yet. There is going to be a rule around when you set the buyer's agent commission between the buyer and the buyer's agent. Okay, that is commission that's negotiated. Now, this brings up a lot of different things. What now happens if you are going to new construction and they pay a realtor bonus? Can you not get that money anymore? So while they have these premises out there, guys, please understand there's a lot they got to work out with that. There's a
Yeah.
lot they have to work out with that. So if you're going to get 2% from your buyer, and then the listing agent is going to pay another 2%, but your contract said 2% with the buyer, what happens with that? Okay. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening when it comes down to seller's concession within this. Okay. And that is not all written in stone. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to pretend to be one, but these are things that need to be ironed out. Okay. Because at the end of the day, what we're really seeing here is a shuffle of paperwork in terms of who's going to pay
That's
for
what it
at
sounds
the end
like.
of the
'Cause
day.
literally, we're paperwork shuffling. We're making something that was
We really
simple
are.
more difficult, but I mean, it's just going to be done in a different way. Once upon a time, there weren't buyer's agents. That didn't come along until like the 70s. So yeah, this has been the status quo for the last, 35, 40 years, whatever. But before that, real estate ran differently. And so this is just another shift in it. You just got to roll with the punches,
Yeah.
adaptation is the name of the game.
I mean, because at the end of the day, CP, when you look at paying commission versus a seller's concession,
It's
it's
the same
still
thing.
money.
It's still money.
It's still going to
You're
be a
calling it
debit away
something
from the
different.
seller.
It's being distributed maybe a slightly different way. It's still the same thing. And like someone said, sellers need to be reminded that it is the buyer's cash for or financing that funds the deals. I have said this since I got into real estate that I did not understand how sellers felt like they were paying both realtors because they wouldn't have any money to pay any realtor if a buyer wasn't bringing them money for the proceeds. They would just
Exactly.
have a property with the equity locked in the property. So the only way that you're able to unlock that equity is this buyer is bringing cash or they're bringing funding. And because that buyer is bringing the cash, then now you have proceeds that then you can then put in your pocket and then you pay the listing agent who then pays the buyer's agent. And so it makes sense, and so
Yeah.
I've always thought that. And I really think that's something that we need to hammer in on.
I actually am going to have to go get some explaining videos for people to understand this more simply. Because this is the whole thing, guys. It seems to complicate. It seems to be complicated, and if you don't explain it well, real estate is already like speaking a separate language. So we have to be better in terms of how we're educating individuals. We got another comment here from Natasha said, and I think she was talking about maybe that should be addressed in the buyer's agency agreement around bonuses. Yes. Let me explain something, Mr. Agent, Miss Agent out there. How you word things is going to be so much more important now going forward. And I
Oh
can see a
yeah.
lot more amendments coming into place based on what's happening with pay. So you need to really lean into your brokers out there, guys, in terms of what language is acceptable. You need to lean into your real estate lawyers out there around what language is acceptable. And already, just look at that. We're talking about opportunities. Here's a change, and there's a great opportunity for real estate lawyers right there.
Yeah.
Right,
No, I
right. They
mean,
got new contracts.
huge opportunity for so many different things. I just wouldn't be freaked out, guys. Just like calm down, start taking notes of some of the problems that you'll see that are happening as things take effect. I would say that you should be taking note of some of the issues that you see. And anytime that there is a problem, then there is always an opportunity for partnerships and businesses because it's your job to fix it. It said
Absolutely.
in the meeting yesterday, EXP will getting a buyer's rep sent out soon.
Yes. Yeah, EXP is already on top of they're changing the buyer's rep and buyer presentations. And I'm just gonna say this: I don't care what brokerage you're part of, address this problem right now. Okay,
Yeah.
address this change right now. It's in the public's eye. It's public perception. So you need to start working within the new reality right now. Don't wait till July and say, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be different." Don't do that. Don't do that
No.
because July is going to be here before you know it. You have people right now in your database who need to buy a house before and after July, and it's the middle of March. So what you gonna do? You're gonna wait, or you're gonna sit there and let them re-sign that lease? Show them that there's hope still buying a house right now in today's model. I'm already making the changes in my model, and I started this long before because we saw that this was happening. I've already had a first-time home buyer course that I was pushing out there. Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm a double, triple, quadruple down on that course right now because there's going to be people who need it and people who want to jump on top of that and do it themselves. And there's still an opportunity for me to help them within that.
I like this comment that just got popped up. A good listing agent will understand that paying the buyer's agent is the best marketing tool for the seller. You can't sell your house without the buyer. Most buyers can barely afford down payment and closing costs if the seller isn't paying. The buyer's agent will negotiate those costs. Like, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. And it just goes back. If you're not good or comfortable doing a listing presentation, listen, let's keep it real. You're going to have that mouthpiece. You're going to have to be able to bring that experience out of you and talk to your sellers in a way to make them understand the value of doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
In the old world, guys, I would go to a listing presentation. I would talk to the seller, look at the property, say it looks good, blah, blah, blah. This is how much I thought I could sell the house for. And they say, well, what are the fees? Here are the fees. And I show them right then and there how much they can walk away from. You know what they did? They didn't care about the fees. They knew. I told them, look, this is going to get split. It's going to get paid with the buyer's agent and myself. Oh, they saw that bottom number profitability. I was like, yeah, we good. We good. Now, if they had a higher number in mind, I'm like, well, listen, I can't value your house at $550,000 because these houses here have pools, they have upgraded marble, yada yada yada. Your house doesn't have these things. I believe your house is worth 480,000 based off the market conditions, and that was fine. You have to be able to stand your ground and speak intelligently about what the house is actually valued at, and then what are you going to do to sell that house to justify your fees. Bottom line.
This last comment that just popped up that says, I see a lot of people are now going after listings instead of being a buyer's agent. Good. Because then that means that there are more buyers available. I'm running into look, I've been out of production for like a year and a half. I'm ready to get back in production. I'm like, let's go. Like, bring me some buyers because, guys, this is a huge opportunity for
Very much
you
so.
to really build out a different type of business and, again, to become better business people. And I think that that's another reason that we have a lot of realtors that are really panicked and scared right now is because they've been operating almost as order takers. They've been doing what the consumer perceives us to do. And so that's super duper important is to, take this as an opportunity to become a better business person and run your business in a different way.
Absolutely. And then let me say this, if you are a hardcore listing agent right now, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the amount of business that's gonna come your way because there will be a number of buyers who say, "I just wanna go straight to the listing agent." And that happens today.
Yeah, it
That
does.
happens right now today. I was doing an open house 2 weeks ago at one of my listings, and this lady came in. Let me tell y'all the story. She came in, and she started telling me how much she loved the house and everything. She started telling me her entire life story. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "Are you represented? Do you have a real estate agent?" "No, I don't." I said, "Well, I need you to understand something." I said, "Ma'am, I represent the seller. Everything you tell me, I'm required to go back and tell them for their advantage." And she wouldn't stop talking. And I said 3 or 4 times. And finally got to the point, I said, "Man, let me get another agent to talk to this lady because she had told me so much. I did not feel comfortable
Right.
trying to help her buy that particular home and represent myself." Like, I know way too much. And I'm like, "Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop
Yeah.
talking." I mean, she was
It's
telling
gonna
me
be
all the secrets, everything that I needed to
that's
know.
gonna be wild to kind of see, that part of it. But again, man, this isn't anything scary, guys. We just have a huge opportunity to shift our branding. We have a huge opportunity to educate the audience and the consumer a lot better. We've just got a lot of opportunity with this change, and I'm excited about it.
I'm super excited about it. So, guys,
Um,
I'm curious. Go ahead.
oh no, I was reading this last comment from Leon. Folks think listing is the easy side, and many joined during COVID. Time to dust off the mega open house stuff we used to, yeah, before the pandemic. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I totally agree. And then I see this other comment. This is where we become real estate consultants. Know your business and your worth. No,
100%. 100%. Because at the end of the day, guys, our jobs is to connect buyers and sellers together. That's not going away. There's not going to be some AI robot that's going to take that away. Okay, so
Chat
stop with that.
GPT can't do that. Okay,
Yeah,
GPT can't.
ChatGPT can't tell somebody if their house looks like it's got some foundation issues. Okay, it doesn't do that right now. Okay, we're not going to have the Zillow Bot 3000 walking in homes with people as we speak right now. Maybe 20 years from now, but not right now. Okay, you still have an opportunity to help people, so just calm that down. And there's always going to be a place in value from honest, ethical, human to human interaction people. Okay, so everyone is running scared and thinking that this is about to change. No, You just need to get out ahead. So let me give you guys some things to take away. Let's get some takeaways.
Real quick, this person just asked a question, said, before y'all go, tips on new branding, put us on some game. Bet. That's my specialty. Can
Let's
I
go.
go?
Go.
I would say that you guys need to start documenting. I think that the days of secret agents and the days of agents that have resisted social media and video in a more candid way, if you are one of those agents, then it's going to be really, really hard for you. It's going to be really, really hard for you. I think that the agents that are going to thrive through this are the agents that have branding that is more authentic and more real. And I know authentic is like this buzzword, but when I say authentic and real, you need to be doing day in the life of a buyer's agent, day in the life of a first-time home buyer, day in the life of showings. Like, literally show people all of the steps of the job and what it takes, and stop just sharing your wins and share your losses. Hop on, and you want to start building out a community around you of people that understand what your life is like. You've been 3 months and you haven't had a closing, shit's getting tight. It's hard. This is what it looks like to be 1099 realtor. I know you guys are always seeing the realtors make $10, $20, $30,000 a transaction. What happens when we don't get paid for 6 months? Because that's where I am right now. Like, start sharing that stuff with your audience, and you will get a community that respects you. I think that, again, the whole like luxury feel and the luxury brand and trying to make things appear perfect is the reason that we've gotten into this. So I would say everything that you see out there that looks perfect and polished and overly professional, do the opposite. Because all of this has come from the public perception that's been created from what I've always said is awful branding. And I hate all that luxury crap. Like, I hate it so much. And so just get real. Like, it's no trick to it. Just get real and you will find your people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I would just say this: do less, don't do more.
Yeah.
Find your niche and go find those individuals and just do more of that. You don't have to try to do everything out there. And I see so many people trying to do everything. I want to do FISBOs. I want to do expires. I want to do open houses. I want to do webinars. Stop. What some of you guys are out there doing is you're going a mile wide and an inch deep. Pick a few things that you're really good at and go really deep into that. And what I mean by going deep, okay, what is your follow process? When that lead comes in, do you actually have a follow process from that standpoint? Do you have a good drip campaign? And is that campaign not just some random chat GPT crap? Is it actually a drip campaign that shows who you are, your personality, and how you can add value to that buyer, to that seller, how you can solve their problem? We are problem solvers. That is the job. And if you do not know how to solve problems, it's an issue. Matter of fact, just state the problem. Hey guys, I had a seller right now I've been working with who's been going through a pre-foreclosure, da 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 da. These are the issues that we went through. Okay, these are some of the solutions that I suggested to help them, and we're finally here at the closing table. They got the house sold. They've been able to get this whole thing done without going into foreclosure. Okay, and losing a lot of money. I guarantee if you tell a story like that without giving too many details about obviously your client, you will be able to find others who can benefit from that and who will call you. Okay, but these are things we're not telling. Right. One of the videos that got me the most comments one time, CP, was how I lost $64,000 in 2 weeks. And I remember calling you, was like, "Hey, yo, CP, what's going on?" So it was great.
And
I
what
just
did
got
I
some
say?
movement going.
And what did I say? Yeah, you should have been doing this.
Yeah. And that happens. We don't win all the time, guys. Sometimes we lose. How many people right here watching this live have worked with the buyer for months, for years even, and only to get a message from them saying, "Hey, I want you to know, be so proud of me. I bought a new construction home, or I went under contract and get this house, and you helped them so much." And then they went and did that. You sitting like, "Lord, what
What?
happened? What happened? What do you mean you went and did a
Yeah,
contract without me?" Right?
yeah.
That happens. Tell that story. Me and
Share
CP was
that
talking about that
stuff.
with her and myself the other day.
You've got to share. I don't think that agents that don't create an online presence or an online, like what I always call is your store. If there's not a destination or a community that you're building around your brand, I think it's going to be very, very difficult
Absolutely.
because you have to build a relationship with people now. So I don't know how those agents are going to survive. I don't.
Absolutely. I'm gonna give you guys some tangible walkaways here, real
Yeah,
quick.
no, definitely. And
Number
I also just want to throw that out there that guys, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on social media if you're not good at social media. That's fine, but you're going to have to learn how to build a community around you that values what you do. They understand what you do. So whether that's maybe at your church or in your actual local community, and you're getting out more and you're doing events, sponsoring things, doing things at school, like you guys are going to need to build out some sort of community. I prefer online because it's just easier for me to do and I can touch more people. But you definitely don't feel like you have to do social media and that it's hopeless for you if you suck at social and you don't like doing video. You don't have to, but you're going to have to build out some sort of community around yourself to prove your worth.
Yeah. I will just say this when it comes to the video, I know you agree with me. If you're a real estate agent and you don't like doing videos, I have to tell you, get over that. It just gives you an opportunity to connect with people so much more. I'm not saying you have to do social media video, but at
Right.
least a video directly to that individual to convert them. If you get a lead online, just saying, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Sasha. You on the website here looking at homes. I'm a real person. I'm not some AI, and I can actually help you find what you're looking for." Be comfortable enough to put yourself out there
Yeah,
that you're
I agree.
not a secret agent.
Yeah.
Don't be a secret agent. Um, all right, so here's a couple takeaways I want you guys to take from this. Number one, educate people about what's going on right now. Make sure you stay educated on the Nar Settlement and educate your audience what's happening within this Nar Settlement right now and what this means for the future of real estate, the future of home buying, and future of selling. Okay, because if they view you as the content expert, they'll come to you. Number one. Number two, big one. You need to be able to explain your value as a buyer's agent and or a listing agent within 30 seconds. You need to be able to say this to them. If someone asks you, why would I pay you to help me buy a home? If you do not have an answer to that, you're not going to convert that particular individual. Now, there's some people you'll never convince them of. That's fine and dandy. That's not who you need to be going after. Okay. But you need to be able to tell them exactly what your value is. Number three and number four. If you do a lot of listings, update your listing presentation right now. If you do a lot of buyers, update your buyers presentation, address and tackle this issue head on and be able to explain it, whether you got the presentation in front of you or not. Okay. Pretending like it's not here is not going to make that, it's not going to change. It is everywhere in the public. It's your job to be able to explain that to them right away. Okay. CP, do you have a couple more you want to give them as well?
No, I feel like you hit on all of it. I would just say that it's time to boss up, guys. Like you can't
It really is.
keep thinking of yourself as someone that your broker needs to train you more. You need to get more training. You need to sit through more classes. No, you need to understand that you are an entrepreneur. You're building out a brand. You're building out a whole business, and you're building out value in a community around yourself, and that is your number one job. And
Yeah.
so I think when agents make that mind shift, that things can change for them. But beyond that, I think you hit the nail on the head.
I guess the only other thing I would say is that I'm just staying away from the negativity.
Oh yeah.
And the commiserating posts that we're seeing everywhere is so bad, it's so terrible. We're going to go out of business. Now you're going out of business, and I'm gonna take the risk that you lose.
I
It's
might
fine,
have a couple of new businesses.
right? So be careful who you're around, because if you're around a bunch of negative agents and
Yeah,
around a bunch of negative people, that energy gets around you. I don't like to have that around me. I don't like to have that around me at all. I want winners. I want to help people who want to win. I want to help my clients who want to win. I want to win. I don't like losing. So no, don't bring that energy my way. So stay positive, people. We'll say
awesome.
stay away from negative Nancy's. Yes, stay away from them. All right, guys, we're going to have a couple more go lives and educating you guys about this process as it continues to unfold, because there's going to be more information, more details coming out there. But educate, innovate, and go grind. That's what I would tell you guys right now.
Go grind.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Y'all take care. Be easy. Jazz, drop our links out. Drop my calendar link if someone wants to kind of schedule a session with me, have a conversation. You guys can do that. He'll drop that for you guys as well, and drop my Popal if we can not drop that as well. And CP, if you could drop your links as well, so they can get in contact with you.
Just Chauncey at chaunceypham.com.
Yeah, I made mine more complicated.
Chauncey at chaunceypham.com or myrealestaterebel.com. Myrealestaterebel.com.
And what's mine? Just SaschaChatman.com. I do believe it is.
Mhm.
Yep. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Be easy.
Thanks.
Peace.